back to the channel. This is Capri. She's hanging out with TikTok. We just introduced her to all of our animals. You can go check that video out at Bird Tricks Kids. We are with Jamie, Capri, and Dave from Bird Tricks. We're going to learn how to train birds using a chopstick and a clicker, so stay tuned and watch us get schooled by a 4th grader.
So we started off with our foster parrot, Rachel. She's a yellow-naped Amazon, and Dave showed us how to correctly use the clicker.
So see how I clicked the instant she touched the stick, even though she just bumped it? That's very important. Something you can do when you're starting to lose complete interest. Bird space will target the stick out of aggression, curiosity. Sometimes they totally ignore it. She hasn't quite put it together yet, so I'll put the treat right by the end of this stick so that as she goes for it, she ends up touching the stick. So there. See how she was like really reaching the upper mandible? I don't know if you can quite see it from your side, but were you able to tell?
Yes.
And so a lot of it's about positioning the stick a little too far and then slowly bringing it closer until you're right at that sweet spot where she can't reach any further and can just touch with the upper mandible. That's gonna, again, make sure you're not getting bite marks in it and you're pairing just a gentle touch versus an aggression, which is really important, especially with this type of species.
It was my turn to try next, but Rachel is definitely a male-oriented bird. She's very flirty with the men, and she wasn't exactly food motivated, so she didn't want to target for me.
Okay, so since that's not working, why don't we have you go ahead and reset yourself and go ahead and come over to the other side. We're struggling with food motivation, and this has to do with what we were talking about at lunch, where when diet and sleep are set up right, then we have the tools to be able to work with her. But if there's any type of filler in her normal diet that, it'll make it so that the value of that treat's not as high, which is partly what we're dealing with here.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know you admitted it on your video, but overfeeding is a thing.
Overfeeding for sure. And guys, my beautiful chop that I'm so passionate about, I'm learning today that I'm not 100% doing it right. So we're gonna definitely have to make some changes for sure.
Yeah.
Can I try? And then see if you can lure her over to the far edge, or the closest edge of the perch. And then, yeah. Nice, that was perfect. Nice. I think that one was her tongue.
So this is a great example of like what we were talking about earlier, where you just go with what's working. You need to train a behavior and get it really consistent, and then you step in once it's already trained to then cue it. You can always do that. So if you guys need to swap who is initially training, that's totally okay.
So Rachel's losing her motivation a little bit, so we're going to go and switch her out with one of the other birds. We're bringing her over here. There we go. Good enough?
Yeah.
It was like she touched it
going
for the seed, but she's definitely not going to touch it on her own, you can tell.
Yeah, and we just worked with the bird where I clicked for the bird looking at the stick, and then the bird was like, well, that was kind of weird, so I clicked when it looked and moved forward a tiny bit, and then eventually got him to touch the stick. So you're just like, you're going with what works and then trying to get closer and closer and closer to that behavior you want.
Chloe has a lot of what I like to call behavioral issues from her previous home, so she screams a lot. She also bites sometimes, and she has a habit where she will fly at you and attack you if you're holding a phone or a remote. So clicker training her is going to be really beneficial to kind of divert her away from the things that we don't want her to mess with, and also build the bond between us.
That was awesome.
Let's see if you can ever come over here.
You can tell she's anticipating it now.
Nice job. She got 2 from that.
Yeah, she did.
Overfeeder.
I know, I am. Hey, I'm Italian, that's what we do. I think the biggest takeaway from today that I'm learning is kind of like working with what you have. So if she doesn't want to train with me, that's okay. She can train with Chris, and then once she learns behavior, then I can step in. So I was just talking to Jamie Lee about a cockatiel that we had at the rescue that would fly to your shoulder and your head, but wouldn't step up to your hand. She's like, that's okay. Just work with what you have. If the bird wants to be on your shoulder, then let it be on your shoulder, and then eventually you can, target it down to your hand, but it doesn't have to be like right away. So I think that's a big takeaway from today.
The question is often, where do we go from here? So now that you're kind of feeling okay, that's all right. I can show here. So she's not wanting to be on this because this is uncomfortable to her at the moment. It's new, it's scary. But why would you target train? Target training is getting the animal to sometimes overcome a fear. So we could get her to overcome the fear of the new object by targeting. But then we can also have her target back into a cage. So let's say you've got somebody watching the animals. You guys are in a different state, and she gets loose, nobody can handle her, well, they could target her back into a cage.
Right.
Also, if she's facing me, you could have her target behind, and then back here, and start to put spin on cue, right? And then we could start to have her just tap over here, and she'd fly over to touch the stick. And then we could tap back over here, and she'd fly back to the tree to touch the stick. So it's a great way to basically form a new language with her. The way I always explain it is, when I toured China as a magician, I was trying to order food at the restaurant, and I'm getting frustrated because I only spoke English. And the poor waiter was getting frustrated because he only spoke Chinese. But when I pointed to the picture of chow mein, we both knew exactly what the expectation was for both parties. And that picture is what target training is. Every new trick is a new picture on a menu in a foreign language. We're never going to speak each other's language, but we can build a new language together. And so target's just part of it. Then we can tap and have them fly over. We can do the spin. And we're just building these pictures to have a better communication and really better relationship with these birds.
Well, and I think the other thing that came up is that they said that she attacks their phones when they're sitting down. So instead of having to remove her from your phone or deal with that attack, you could see that build up and you could target her away from your guys' selves and get out of that situation before it escalates into that attack.
Okay, so with day 2, one of the things that most people like to do is start right where they left off, and that is a good way to set yourself up for failure. So I like to say if we had 3 visual steps of progression, go back a step or 2 and kind of refresh what you want the bird to do with something it was doing really well at, not starting right at its highest point yesterday. Does that make sense? Yeah. I did not say that very gracefully.
No, it made sense. It made sense. So we'll start with just trying to touch.
Super easy, and then rebuild. Yeah. Do you see how her posture changed when she knew a treat was involved? Mm-hmm. That basically, you had her attention, and so from a training standpoint, I look at that and I know I've got an opportunity to have a successful rep.
That's chicken.
I was trying to figure it out. I was like, it's not jelly bean, but it's to my left.
Okay, so my only feedback on that was she was eye pinning prior to the rep starting, and it was, I think, paired with your saying it was a chicken, and your vocal community. I can't talk.
Oh, it's a first.
Your vocalization, I think, is what heightened her. So I would just kind of pause for a minute and just really pay attention to those eyes. She's still kind of eye pinning. Okay, I think you'll be good now. Yeah. Yep. Good read. And on that one, she didn't bite in the stick, where when she hit eye pinned on the previous rep, she bit it a little bit harder. Yeah. So there's definitely a correlation with that heightened and biting, and we just want to make sure that those 2 things aren't paired together. Love it.
Do you want to have Gabby try?
Yeah.
Gabby's like, no thanks.
So same thing, really. Just
your face.
That's from her today, so.
Just really pay attention to if you're vocalizing, if she's getting heightened. I would just kind of pause, but.
So should I back away more?
If you're okay right there, let's just see if you can get a simple target. Don't worry about if she moves a ton or not. Let's just see if she'll do a gentle one whenever you're ready.
She just flipped you off. I wonder if we had the element of Chris giving the treat. Like she does the behavior for Gabby and she gets the treat of not just the food reward, but also the presence of Chris. What do you think?
Try it.
I will bless you with my presence.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. I think that's your starting point.
Okay.
In the background.
Yeah, there's a party in the bird room.
So he's like a shy bird. I'd be very surprised if he steps up to that. He might step up to that perch, but like he's weird about.
So without blowing it out, since you know that he's more likely to go to that one, let's do that.
Okay.
So we'll take whatever they're willing to give us and
Okay.
start there.
We'll see if he'll go on that one. I don't even know. You want this one for me? And then if he steps up, I can click and reward. Okay. You want it? Good.
That was the easiest trick I've ever done.
Good job. Good job. So should I hold it at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you notice too when you twitched? Chloe like twitched and stopped. So just be careful of be very aware of your motions.
Get your hand out of there. Oh my gosh. You just keep your hand there and being shocked that they're taking more treats. I don't know. Oh my God. Chris, do we not just have this conversation in the kitchen about what happens when an animal grabs stuff you don't want it to have?
Guys, I am awful today.
This is going well. There we go. Oh, I feel like that should have counted. You know?
I was so close to a click, but
Oh, you got it.
So you see it's like really finessing it.
Right.
So we'll see what you get on that. I
That
think a
was
lot of what's
good.
playing against me is she doesn't know me, doesn't necessarily like me. But with you, there's going to be less fear there.
Right.
Yeah,
So
there's less trust. with
She's
Dave.
only overcoming the uncertainty of the stick versus the fear of the human as well.
So the pros. The pros.
That was a good rep, man. Fought for that one. Perfect, Gabby. That was perfect.
And you immediately see a difference in her body language. She's like,
Right.
okay, thankfully that guy's gone.
Aw.
While we were training inside, Capri actually went outside and decided she was going to start target training a wild baby conure that we've rescued a month ago. We've been trying to get him used to people so we can adopt him out, but we've had no luck in the last month.
Yeah. She wants to play that game with you. You want to do it again?
I'm gonna go back on the side.
She's like, I know what you're doing. Oh, she's still eating the other one. That's just how enthusiastic she was. Still hold it up for her because she did deserve it.
It has been such an incredible 2 days. We have made so much progress with so many birds. Jelly Bean, I'm super excited about his progress, but you guys are gonna have a video on your channel, right? So
Yep.
definitely check out Bird Tricks to see the progress we did with Jelly Bean. Capri just made huge progress with Nemo, our rescued wild parrot that was found on the ground that wouldn't even take food from my hand. He's now following her around and target training, and it's been a dream of mine to meet you guys and work with you guys, so the fact that you're here like means so much to me. So thank you guys so much.
Oh, we're super glad to be here. It was really cool just to highlight Nemo, because some of the pieces of Breakthrough weren't on video, but I was trying to hand treats, you were trying to hand treats, the whole conversation was like, this bird doesn't take treats. So then meanwhile, while we're not looking, Capri goes over and gets the bird to target, and then goes to offer the treat, and he wouldn't take it, so she drops it in the dish, and that just like transformed everything. And so it was really cool. She's like, Dad, come on out, and see like how much enthusiasm this bird had out of nowhere was really, that was rewarding.
Even Sweet Pea, our parrotlet, I was telling them I've had her the longest, and I feel like my bond with her is the weakest, just because she doesn't like hands, and I'm afraid to let her out because she flies all over. I'm afraid she's gonna get grabbed by the toucan. So to see Capri target training her, and again, she's following her all over the cage for the treats. It just, it gives me such hope, and I'm so excited to continue this training. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Bird Tricks, subscribe to Bird Tricks Kids, and we will see you guys on the next episode. So it has been a week since we worked with Bird Tricks, and we have been training, not every day, but we've been training a lot with the birds, and they are really progressing. So we want to show you the progress. We're going to start with Cupid, who is very eager. Ready? We'll just start with an easy one. Good job. And we're gonna see if he'll do a little spin for us. Okay. That was a slow one. You gotta put your other foot down. You gotta put that foot down. There you go. That was a slow one, but he's actually a pro at spin. So all the birds are doing really well, and we're gonna show you Jelly Bean next. And now we're gonna show you the progress with Jelly Bean. We have slowly been increasing the distance, but he is flying pretty well. Ready? Jelly Bean. Good job. So from literally having a clipped toucan that was afraid to fly, and now having him fly to our arms, it's such an amazing feeling, and I'm just so grateful. And even Elmo has showed interest in the clicker. You got it. You got it. Good job. Good job. It's okay. Good job. Good job, Elmo. So we are just so grateful for Bird Tricks for coming out. We're so grateful that we had the opportunity to work with them. Thank you so much, Dave, Jamie, and Capri from Bird Tricks Kids. Thank you for giving us the tools to be able to continue to train our birds. We are just forever grateful. Everybody make sure you subscribe to them, Bird Tricks and Bird Tricks Kids, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.